Okay, so hello everyone. So I've seen your comments about the unique possibilities of mobile devices. So, I mean, there is nothing else to add. But my point here is that we need to think mobile for these two reasons. First, because the context of the user is different, and second, because the possibilities of these devices are unique. Okay, so again, it's not about trying to fit in a smaller screen size the web that we have designed for desktops. It's about thinking mobile. So now let's go to the next part of the discussion, which was about mobile apps versus web responsive. And here I have to say that the right answer is what Rustam said. Having a web responsive, it is a must. Having mobile applications is optional. Okay, so that was for me kind of a tricky question. So what are the benefits of native applications? So as Birna said, a main advantage of having an application, a native application, is that you can have a better user experience. Okay, so you maximizes the possibility of the device. Another thing is that users can access to your business in just one click from the smartphones, which by the way I have always with them, and also they can use that without internet access. For example, during a flight or wherever, you can use Evernote without internet connection and so on. Even some songs on Spotify or something like that. Number three is you can use push notifications to proactively reach your most engaged users. Of course, you can connect with the phone capabilities like the geolocalization or the camera, etc. So when you really need to connect to these things, to these capabilities, then it makes sense to develop a native application. And a better load speed and more security. So I come back to your point, Patrick, which is, for example, for e-commerce, when you want to offer purchasing capabilities, then it's much better to develop an app. Okay, so it's more difficult to buy in a web responsive. So what are the benefits of the web responsive? Number one is, as Mohammed said, a cheaper development cost and also maintenance cost. Okay, why? Because we need to, in the apps, we need to develop one for the iPhones, another for the Androids, etc. So for the iPads, maybe if you want, so you have to develop one native application for each mobile platform in which you want to be. Whereas if you have a website that adapts to the device, you develop only once. And this is relevant because there is a proliferation of devices. Now, for example, we have the iPhone 6 Plus or the iPad Mini. So, I mean, are you going to develop an app for every specific device? That might be very costly. Okay, so in that sense, having a web responsive is much better. Number two, as Birna said, it is good for SEO. Okay, so when people are searching, let's say that you are IKEA, when people are searching for buying a bed for their dorm, I mean, they go to Google, and there are some results, and many of these searches, as you know, are happening from mobile devices, 3 out of 5, and increasing. So you need to be there, and of course you need to be there with a web that perfectly fits in this device. Okay, so an app is not going to help you in terms of gaining traffic from people who are searching on Google. Number three, Antonio, you made a very good point here. No need to download the application. And as you were referring, there is like an SEO for the App Store or the Google Play for all these markets. And this is known as ASO, or in Spanish, or is ASO, which means application App Store optimization, App Store optimization, which is you need to optimize your app so that it appears when someone is searching in the marketplace, by the title, the tags, the comments, the number of downloads, etc. So again, we go back to the same concept of SEO. And number four, if what you want to do is basically information instead of purchasing capabilities or something like that, the content management systems of a web responsive is much more convenient. And number 5, as Antonio, you also said that you don't need third-party approvals, like the approval from Apple, who also have their own policies and so on. So again, the key point is Rustam's point. Having a web responsive is a must. Having a native application is optional, is to provide a better service. So for heavy users, having an app might be a very good idea to increase the engagement. For acquiring new customers, having a web responsive is an absolute necessity. Okay, very, very interesting discussion. I hope it helps this wrap up, and let's continue with the last part of the discussion of mobile. Let's go for it.